You're listening to Female Founders with Claire Bartlett, the podcast that tells you what it is really like to be a female founder in today's world. We share invaluable insights through personal journeys and real-life business experiences, highlighting the highs and the lows so you can move forward in your business with ease. I am passionate to share with you the realities of business and give you the strategies and simple steps you need to truly succeed with your business. Today's episode is brought to you by Xero Accounting Software, the champion of female entrepreneurs and a proud sponsor of the Female Founders podcast. Managing your business finances can feel overwhelming, but Xero simplifies it all and gives you the power to keep your books in order and your mind on growth. Xero have offered an amazing 50% discount on your first 3 months with them. So if you'd like to take advantage of this amazing deal, just search refer.xero.com/female founders or follow the link in the show notes. Don't forget to give this show a follow to make sure you never miss an episode and share it with any incredible female founders you know. But for now, let's jump into this week's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Female Founders podcast. I'm your host, Claire Bartlett, and today I want to give you the top 5 reasons why it's so important to have confidence and clarity in your numbers for your business. Now, just before we go into this subject, for those of you who don't know me very well, what you might not know is actually my history, my career path was in accounting for the last probably 20 years plus. So that's why this topic is so important for me, because there's so much wealth and so much knowledge and experience and information within your numbers, within your accounting for your business. But I also completely understand that this is the most feared area in business and feels like the most daunting one to tackle. So I'm going to break down today the top 5 reasons why it's so important to get that clarity and confidence in your numbers, to start reviewing them and get comfortable with them, because there's such a wealth of information in there for you. So, number 1, checking your figures regularly literally can help prevent absolute disasters in your business. So often when we're not comfortable, we avoid areas in our business that we don't like much. Okay, we all do it. We procrastinate, we'll do anything we possibly can, apart from doing that task that we don't like. And I completely appreciate that actually the accounting is probably one of those areas for most of you out there. I imagine that a lot of you don't do anything with your accounts until right at the end of the year when your tax return is due. But this is so wrong, because by the time you actually get round to looking at those numbers, it's not going to help you at all, because the numbers, the information that it's giving you is for months past. And anything that was going wrong that you spot now, it's too late to change. You're already too far down that line. So checking your numbers regularly, doing your bookkeeping and your accounting on a monthly basis minimum, is so important, because you can see really quickly if anything is not working for your business, if anything is going wrong, and it gives you the opportunity to change it before it becomes too big an issue for your business to handle. I'll tell you a funny story actually related to this point. So about 6 years ago, we moved home and we used a removal company. And that removal company were not VAT registered. They invoiced us and we paid them, and we all moved on with our lives in our beautiful new home. About 6 months later, that removal company rang me and said, "Oh, we've actually gone VAT registered. So we're going to need you to pay us the VAT from that transaction 6 months ago." Now, I can't remember the figures, but it was probably, I don't know, a couple of £100 or something. It wasn't a nominal figure. And obviously, I have that knowledge and experience in the industry to know that that's completely false, and that was not due by me at all. But when I queried why they were, phoning me and asking me this question, they'd actually hit the VAT threshold over a year previously, but because they had avoided doing their accounts for so long, they hadn't known. And HMRC were now asking them to pay all of that VAT that they should have been charging for that whole year. And this was like thousands of pounds, right, that they suddenly had to find. And so he was going back and trying to claim some of that, bring some of that income back in from the clients, previous clients. Well, if anyone paid him, fair play to him. but it's not a requirement by the client. It wasn't on our invoice and they weren't VAT registered at the time. But this really, opened my eyes. Now, I know how important your accounting and bookkeeping is in your business and how you should be doing it regularly. But I'd never come across, because obviously all my clients used me as their bookkeeper and accountant. So I'd never been in this situation. How easy it is to lose control of your business and lose sight of these areas of your business if you're not tracking your numbers regularly. So, tip number one, please keep looking at your numbers on a regular basis. I have to give a shout out to Xero right here, our main sponsors for this podcast, because using softwares like theirs makes this such an easy task for you. You can literally automate all of the information to go into Xero straight away, so you're not having to handle loads of paperwork. And it gives you auto-populated reports showing you exactly how your business has performed in the past month, all from, a few really easy clicks. So don't feel like this has to be a massive time-consuming and overwhelming thing for you to do, because it really doesn't. If you use amazing software like Xero, then it can be a very simple task for you to do, but it's so important. Okay, point 2, tracking return on investment. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard that term before, but for those of you who haven't ever understood what it really means, returning on investment is very simply, for every investment that your business makes, so for every penny, every pound that your business spends, how much income is that generating for you? So if you spend on paid advertising, for instance, you run regular adverts on Facebook, how much new income is that actually bringing into your business? Is there a good return on that investment? And this is something I think people don't really ever look at, and they don't know how to track. So you might be following a strategy plan that you've tried to put in place, which includes paid advertising. It could include speaking at events, but by speaking at those events, it's bringing costs to your business, like your travel, accommodation, your food while you're at that event. These are all costs that you wouldn't have had if you weren't speaking at that event. Well, by how much income is all of these things bringing into your business? If you've spent, you've stayed at a hotel for the night, you've paid £200 in Facebook advertising, you had to get a £50 train down to that event to speak at, and you've also had downtime out of your business. The time that's taken you to travel and speak at that event is time that you could have spent on your existing clients bringing income in. So you need a total of all of that cost in your business, and then see how much new income that's actually generated for you. Is there a good return on your investment? If you're not tracking these sorts of things, then you are flying blind and you have no idea if all of the efforts that you're putting in is actually paying off. One thing I would say in this section, though, is don't expect immediate return on investment when it comes to visibility growth. People don't invest in you straight away. So if you have done that talk, for instance, you might be looking at that talk. People have just come into your space. They've come into your world and they're going to watch you and see what you're about for a while. And I think I heard it's actually 27 touch points now. You need to be in front of that person, whether that's virtually, on your social media or in person. You need to turn up in their world 27 times before they are willing to spend any money with you. So when you are tracking your return on investment, you need to have a time loop. You need to understand that things don't happen instantly and it takes time for that investment to return into your business. But you still need to be tracking it all, and you need to start understanding the pattern and how long it's taking for people to actually then spend their money with you. Point 3, you need to track what your tax bill is looking like for the end of the year. And I've seen this time and time again where we get to the end of the year and people are like, oh my God, how is my tax bill that high? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, have you looked at your figures throughout the year? It's so easy to just make, a rough estimate of what your tax bill would be like. And a massive tip here is to transfer that money instantly out of your business account and put it in a saving space. Actually pretend that you don't even have that money. And then what happens quite often is you've oversaved for your tax bill. You're over generous with your calculations. This happens. But I see this as a massive plus, because you get to basically pay yourself a little Christmas bonus. When you finalize your tax bill, normally in December, January time, whatever you've oversaved for that tax bill, that comes right back to you. And you've got a nice little bonus that you can then go and spend on yourself and reward yourself for being ahead of the game and having that tax already there. Because what is worse than in dreary January, when we're all massively depressed because we've overeaten and overindulged over Christmas, and now there's nothing to look forward to in the month that feels like it drags on for an entire year, suddenly having to find hundreds or thousands of pounds to pay HMRC or tax bill. It is not fun for anybody. So please make sure that you save that money, just an estimated amount, so it's not such a shock when January comes around. Number 4, your numbers, your figures can give you the knowledge and the confidence to move forward with your business, whether that's gaining investment, whether it's time to grow the business. All of the answers to any of those questions are within your figures. You will see your bottom line, which is the profit, whether that's started to increase, you've got a really healthy profit, money in your bank that you can now use to start growing your business, invest in a staff member, invest in more stock, in training yourself in a new area. But if you don't know how your business is performing, you won't know if you have that space and that capacity in your business to go down that new avenue. It will also tell you things like when it's time to look for investment. If you're wanting to grow and the profits aren't there, but you know that this new area in business that you're wanting to bring in will generate, huge amounts of profit, then it's time to look for investment. There's so many answers to every single question that you have about the future of your business is within your figures. And number 5, it helps you have overall confidence in yourself, in your business, in your abilities to run a successful business, but also the confidence to move forward because you know that what you are doing is working. You are getting that return of investment. You are getting the profit margins that you're wanting. Everything that you are doing is working. You are on the right path. And it's so important to have that confidence in yourself, because if you see so many people so often, they struggle to have that confidence and that faith in themselves. And they say, I need, actual tangible evidence that I'm a success, basically. Tangible evidence can come in a multitude of ways. It can be, testimonials from your clients. It can be, results for your clients and things like that. But it can also come from your accounts. What more tangible evidence is there that you are a success in business than having a healthy profit margin and looking at your profit and loss report, which is a very simple report. Again, software like Xero, they populate it all for you, they create it for you, but it very simply breaks down. This is the amount of money that's coming into your business. This is the amount of money that's gone out of your business. This is your profit. This is your profit margin. And having confidence that actually when you look at that tangible evidence and you say, yes, my turnover is healthy, it's increasing every month, my costs are not increasing, or, they're increasing at a lesser speed, my profit is going up every single month. I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it well and it's a success. Like, what greater feeling is there as a business owner to know that what you're doing is worthwhile? So those are my top 5 tips why it's so important to gain that clarity and that confidence in your numbers. As I said, there are so many answers within those numbers, but I also truly appreciate that this is a very daunting area in business for so many of you. And I do know, there's been areas in my business, right, that have daunted me just as much. Marketing was one of them. I had no idea when I started my first business how to market anything. I'd never had to do it. And as with most of you, as with so many business owners, you go into business because you're good at whatever it is that you're selling, not because you're good at accounting. In fact, like I mentioned, it is by far the most hated area in business across the world, right? Everybody hates accounts. So I get that it's a daunting area, but it's so important to understand. And what's also really important is to have an expert support you in this area of business. Get yourself a bookkeeper, get yourself an accountant, somebody who has that knowledge and expertise that can guide you through all of these, explain those figures and help you understand them and build that confidence in them yourself. So that's it for this week, guys. I just want to give a huge shout out to Xero, our sponsor. I honestly can't recommend them enough for small business owners. They make it so easy for you guys. It's so clear. I have used Xero, the only software that I've used for me and my clients in probably the last 8 or 9 years. So that speaks volumes for them. But yeah, honestly, guys, go out and start looking at those numbers. Look at them regularly. Point number 1, check them regularly, because they will tell you if things are not working in your business and allow you that time and that opportunity to change it before it becomes catastrophic. Point 2, tracking return on investment. How much money is actually the efforts you're putting in, bringing into your business? Number 3, track what your tax bill is going to look like and start saving for it, because there's nothing worse than January blues and having a massive tax bill to pay. Number 4, gives you the knowledge and the confidence to move forward in your business. Know when it's time to grow. Get that new staff member in, whether you can afford that staff member, whether it's time to look for investment. It answers all of these questions for you. And number 5, it gives you such overall confidence in yourself and your ability that goes far wider than just in your accounts. It helps you as a business owner and as a person have more faith and belief in yourself, which is so important in business. So that's it from me, this week. Thank you so much for joining me as always, and I will catch up with you next week. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, which was brought to you by Xero Accounting Software, a champion of female entrepreneurs and a proud sponsor of the Female Founders podcast. If you're running a small business and you're dreaming big, then Xero is here to help make those dreams a reality. Xero is all about supporting women like you, who are not just running businesses, but are also changing the game. So whether you're just starting out or you're scaling up, join a global community of female founders who trust Xero to manage their finances efficiently. Just visit refer.xero.com/female founders to learn more. But for now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this episode with all the incredible female founders you know. And together, let's change what it means to be a female founder in today's world.